What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody, back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video after a day of not one, but two wage quits. That's right. Pokemon Legends AZ got sent to ban world, and also Quarantine apparently got quarantined on the DSP Gaming. That's right. Our boy Phil had a rough day. That's right. Had a rough day of support. Low support, low viewership, low everything. That's right. And of course, you know what happens whenever we get low viewership, low support, low engagement, we get wage quits. That's right. And it's always a nice added bonus when we get multiple wage quits in one day. So let's see Phil excuse or come up with some, twisted explanation for why he wage quit 2 games in one day. So let's get into it.
Interesting streaming day. Today, we actually saw the conclusion of 2 different playthroughs on the channel. We're going to talk about that because I know people are going to be like, well, what happened? Did you beat the games? Did you rage quit the games? Did the games just get boring? Did the support fall off? Well, let's talk. Because in a lot of cases, it's going to always be a combination of factors. And in one particular case, I felt like it was a game that we probably weren't going to finish anyway. But before we even talk about that, today was the first episode ever of the DSP Morning Show. What is the DSP Morning Show? Well, it's on a day when I'm going to do a major gameplay stream, but I'm not going to be doing a full-on podcast, meaning I don't want to do an hour and a half to 2 hour long show where I'm talking about particular topics, where I have news to discuss, where I'm reacting to trailers, etc. Instead, it's a very more laid back situation where I just want to build up the stream and get more attention, get more people watching before I start with said game. So I've already been doing these streams. I've been calling them stream build-up sessions. They only last about maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. But the thing is, I've never recorded them or uploaded them. And some people were saying that they were upset that they were missing out on some of the discussion, Q&A, and stuff that was going on during those shows. So could I record it and upload it? So I said, all right, fair enough. Ask and you shall receive. I'll call it the DSP Morning Show. We'll hang out for half an hour in the morning, and then we'll start, early afternoon, right with the games. And that's what we did today. So it was about 40 or so minutes, maybe 50 minutes of discussion. I'm not sure. Today, we actually had some news. We had some news about the game High Guard coming out next week, and we had an update about the game Marathon from Bungie that's coming out in early March. So technically, we did actually have a little bit of news to discuss on the show, despite the fact that normally we probably wouldn't. But then we just hung out for the rest of the show. We started talking about other things, such as the upcoming Marathon in February. So it was a good hangout session. It went
That's right. What I'm labeling as the 2:20 morning show, or the 2:20 p.m. the morning show. That's right. Yeah, most people in the world wake up at 2:20 p.m. and start their day off. I mean, some people are going to say, well, he lives on the West Coast. All right, that puts him at what? 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. Nowhere in the world is 11 o'clock really considered a morning show. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess mid-morning maybe might be more appropriate, or lunchtime would probably fit better, but not morning. And then, of course, he was bitching and complaining, because people were saying, dude, it's like 11 o'clock your time, or 11:30, because he doesn't start his podcast till 11:30. And they're like, that's noon, brother. And then, of course, he tried to rant and rave about how he gets up at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is a lie. He's told his viewers multiple times that Jasper woke him up early at 8 o'clock, or that Cat had to wake up at 8 o'clock early, and that's why he was tired. So we know from past experiences that he gets up at 10:30, rolls out of bed, go microwave or orders DoorDash, and then fires up his stream. That's the reason why he doesn't start his podcast until 11:30 Pacific time, which, folks, that's 2:30 for most of the world, the East Coast, so the only coast that really matters. So it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What it was he knew that detractors were clipping that segment and usually getting some nice nuggets to post. And he realized, well, if detractors are posting it, like Doody unrecorded, I called it the unrecorded begment, or the unrecorded beg podcast, or some title. So he realized he might as well get into the game and make his $2 in ad revenue. So that's the reason why he decided to start recording and uploading. Yeah, and it was funny. He was just raging and bitching, and people were mocking him, making fun of the name, saying this is essentially just a podcast, brother. And again, Phil, you went to 3:45. 3:45. What's the difference from going from 2:30 to 4 o'clock versus 2:30 to 3:45? Literally, you're cutting it 15 minutes shorter. It's not structured. It's you just ranting and raving about God knows what, and you're calling it the morning show. And again, this is at 3:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But anyway, all right, let's keep going. By the way, it was super boring, like everything he does. It just has a different name. I'm guessing what he's looking for is maybe looking to rebrand the Level 1 podcast and call it something more meaningful, thinking that's going to save the business. Watch, give him give him a month or two when he's desperate for support and money and views and everything. He'll rebrand the podcast, call it something else, and then act like that's some big improvement. You know what I mean? He'll use that he'll use that in his daily rant about his streaming updates, his new PC, the armrest, all these improvements that he made. And then he'll call labeling the Level 1 podcast something else, rebranding it as more improvements.
Well, the video's live on the channel. If you missed it, you can check it out and see what we were up to this morning. Then the major portion of the stream was Pokemon Legends ZA and the conclusion of the DLC. Now, here's the thing. I say the conclusion of the DLC because I'm done with Pokemon Legends ZA at this point. No lie, 65 videos over 70 hours this playthrough, okay? So overall, what happened today? Well, here's what happened. We went and we fought another big Pokemon from Pokemon Sapphire. We got it. It was one of the legendary from that game. What was it called?
Again, Phil, it doesn't matter whether you played it for 65 hours, 70 hours, or 100. You didn't complete the game. You told your viewers that were coming in every day, giving you $20 to name them Pokemon, that you were going to complete the game, which you didn't do. You got a little adversity, a little bit of challenge, a little bit of pushback, and you went and started running and crying and complaining because, Princess Luna wasn't there to give you her $20 for Pokemon. And I think he walked away making whatever, $70. That's what he got, $70. But then again, out of one side of his crooked mouth, he'll talk about low support, low engagement, no one cares. And then when he tries to clean it up, he'll talk about how good the support has been for the last, 65 playthroughs. You can't have it both ways, Phil. You're either bitch and complain because no one gave you money for yesterday's stream, or you don't. You just chalk it up as a slow stream and you move on with your day and you don't bitch about it and complain about it, right? But you don't wage quit it. There's no reason to wage quit this game at the very end. And then literally try to say Dark Souls. He literally out of his mouth said Dark Souls when he was playing it yesterday. Dark Souls. Of course, yes. Just like Kirby was Dark Souls. Good God, man. Just be honest, brother. You don't have to play these gymnastics. No one's believing you. You wage quit it because you didn't make any money. And you rather play something that makes you more money. And it's getting to the point now where the 150 is not even good enough. He needs more than 150. He needs a minimum of 200 viewers and at least $200 for it to be successful. I mean, you see this guy, this fucking crummy scumbum, really is, man. And he's getting desperate. Him being desperate for hitting goals. It's funny. By the way, I think someone on YouTube, on Twitter, someone on Twitter, I forgot it, Jigan, I think it is. He actually listed how many goals he missed this month so far. So what is it? It's 20 days. 19. He streamed for 19 days. He's missed, I think, 2 days or 3 days off. So he's literally had 16 days of streaming, 32 streams, and I think he ended up missing like half of the 32 streams that he did. He missed half, and that's bad. That's bad for Phil, man. Especially when, on average, he was probably maybe missing the goal once a week. But you notice as soon as he put away the goal, he put away the goal, the whole, goal streak. He put away feasting with the pig, the gimmicks, right? When he put away the gimmicks, he's no longer hitting them goals now. Because he literally thought the Asmon Gold rub was going to last forever. And it didn't. It lasted for about 2 weeks. And he's back to pre-Kino Casino days with support. He is. I mean, I'm just waiting for him to start putting on vests and hats again. And bringing back the gold. That soon. I think I had a poll on my stream the other day. And I said that I asked my viewers, when do you think the goal is going to be back? And I think I said March. Oh no, I said June. I think I said the over under is June. And literally like 85% of the viewership said the under. They took the under. They thought that he was gonna bring goals back within a month. And I agree with that. I think the goals will be back probably February or March sometimes. Especially if the February stream, the marathon doesn't raise the money he's expecting. We might be back to goals pretty soon. And that's going to be a glorious day. And of course, he'll do some, contrived excuse about people sending him messages and begging him to bring back the goals and saying, my viewers don't understand what support level should be because I don't have a goal. and it's confusing because, they're idiots. He'll come up with some lame fucking excuse like that. And, of course, that'll be content for us to farm and to mock Phil.
Called, can't even remember what it was called. Actually, I've completely forgotten. Started with K or something like that. So we got him. And then the game says you have to grind another 100,000 expedition points to get to the next part of the story, which is just another boss fight. So I'm like, well, how do you do that? You got to go into more rifts, but not new rifts, just the same level 4 rifts you've already been doing. So the most points you can even get in a rift is around 8,000 to 10,000, but most rifts are anywhere from 3 to 5. You don't know when you go in. So it's just endless grind. And we spent over 2 more hours grinding. It was finally the very tail end of the stream, 2.5 hours of grinding. Boring. I'm not kidding you when I say even the staunchest Pokemon fans got bored as hell today, including this guy right here. There was no fun to be had doing the same repetitive things on the entirety of the stream. There was no excuse for them to even put that into the game. It was lazy, it was a cop-out, and it was an easy way for them to sell a DLC and claim it had content when it really doesn't. I was very, very disappointed with what they did with this ending of this DLC, okay? At the very last minute, I finished the grind, and we went to fight Rayquaza. But there's a problem. Rayquaza, of course, is a crazy Pokemon that Mega Evolves, has 2 phases you need to fight him in, the regular phase, then a Mega Evolve phase. The problem is, even if you have a Pokemon that has all of his weaknesses, even if the Pokemon's level is absolutely maxed, unless you have like the absolute perfect build, you can't beat Rayquaza. What do I mean? So one of his weaknesses is ice. I go in there with my Glacie, who is a Glacian, maxed out level, okay, using the plus moves, all his weaknesses. We beat the first form easily. Get to the second form, we can't beat it. We just can't deal enough damage. Time runs out, and the game decides no resumes, meaning you can't like start again with some of the health of the boss reduced. Just start completely from scratch from the first form. What? It doesn't even make sense, because really that means the only way that you can actually beat this Pokemon is to go in there already knowing all of its weaknesses, going in with a level 100 Mega Evolved enabled Pokemon, having the perfect loadout so you can every single turn hit it with a weakness. It's the only way you'll ever deal enough damage to beat this thing within the time limit. So that was it. It was already past 4 p.m. because I had to grind so much, and I said, we're done. I'm literally not going to do another stream of this game where we're going to grind endlessly to get the candies to find another ice Pokemon or bug Pokemon or whatever the heck its weakness is. I'm not going to waste time. I've had enough. Like, I'm actually legit bored. And in tandem with that, the audience was bored, even though Pokemon has been one of the most supported playthroughs I've ever done. Today, we only got about $80 of support. So one of the lowest supported Pokemon streams ever. Even fans of Pokemon left. I'm not even kidding you. Some of the people who are longtime fans are, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to leave. Maybe I'll come back later and see if you beat it or not. I'm serious. Just everyone was completely bored to tears. So it's sad. That's what happened with Pokemon, that they really ruined the ending. But the thing is, the majority of my audience was already begging me to stop playing Pokemon. So 70 hours, 65 parts. That's it for my playthrough. It was a great one. To everyone who likes Pokemon, thank you so much for attending, engaging, and supporting with that game over the last 3.5 months. It's been a blast. Now it's time to move on to other stuff, but we'll be back sooner rather than later, because guess what? There's another Pokemon game in March called Pokopia or Poketopia.
Okay, so he finally admitted to the real reason. Low support. He got $80 or whatever it was on that stream. Again, Phil, if he would have gotten the 150, you would have probably kept playing it over and over again, because you really got nothing else going on for yourself. I mean, you're so desperate. You're talking about bringing back Call of Duty. Well, how many times have you brought Call of Duty back from Ban World? This would be what, 4th time that no one supported, no one cared, and you brought it back because you thought maybe, that one Denton who's dropping you FaZe Clan will come back and give you $100. Is that what you're doing here, bro? Again, you tell on yourself, Phil. You tell on yourself. He brought back Street Fighter because there was nothing else to play. He thought maybe Jax or one of his dents would come out. The last time he played it, Jax was MIA. He didn't have any money to give him, and Phil was pissed off. But of course, he can't quit Street Fighter again, right? He can't send that to Ban World. Because what else is he going to play? More indie games? He's going to find another Quarantine, which, oh, by the way, that's right, folks. Quarantine, he wage quit Quarantine as well. And he's going to tell us here why he quit Quarantine. So let's hear Phil explain again why he decided to quit a perfectly interesting game.
Whatever it's called, it's a hybrid between Animal Crossing and Pokemon, and we're going to give it a look. So Pokemon will return soon. So that's it for Pokemon. We're done. It's out of the rotation. Okay? The late stream tonight was the continuation of Quarantine Zone, The Last Check. Indie game that we started last week, 1 week ago. This is our 3rd stream of it. And to be honest, the first 2 streams were very interesting because every time that we played, it seemed like they were adding new gameplay elements, new symptoms and things to detect in the survivors, new tools you can use to detect said symptoms, new elements to the gameplay, like using a drone to shoot a bunch of zombies in the area and stuff like that. And that was really neat. And then, doing some other little mini games like researching at the lab and stuff like that. Tonight, I hate to say it, 2 hours of this game, it just wasn't that interesting. Basically, we were doing exactly the same game again. It really didn't add much tonight. I mean, I think I detected 1 new symptom, and they gave me 1 new tool, but it really was just more of the same, honestly. The plot didn't advance at all. It remained exactly the same and didn't get any new interesting breakthroughs or anything like that. And on top of all of that, there were no interesting survivors. If you remember, the first stream, we had a guy that looked like Crazy Dave from Plants vs. Zombies, and then there was a guy who had skeleton hands and like a pink-skinned head. It was unique. None of that tonight. It was just normal people. It was super boring. So I did have a good time with the audience. We chilled, we talked, we had a good time. But basically by the end of the stream, everyone was saying, yeah, this is kind of boring now. This kind of sucks. It's disappointing. And it wasn't even like a poorly supported stream. It was good. It wasn't the best, but it certainly wasn't a terrible night. But even then, by the end of the night, we were like, I think we all agree this game, that's about it. So we're about 6 hours of quarantine zone. If you want to ask how far I was into the game, I would argue roughly halfway in. We had completed 2 quarantine day checkpoints where basically it's evacuation day and you get people out of the camp. We were already a day or 2 into the next one. It's 5 days for each. So probably halfway in and maybe 12, 13 hours you beat the game. The thing is, I just don't think they're adding much to it. I didn't really care to play anymore. And the audience agreed. They were like, yeah, it's time to move on. Let's find something else. So quarantine zone, it's a fine game. It's a Game Pass game. It's a game that's cheap as well if you just want to buy it. If you like.
Okay, I want to stop it here, Phil, because your excuse for both Pokemon and for quarantine is the reason why you're quitting it is because it's the same game loop. There's nothing new. Okay, which is bullshit. You quit it because you didn't hit your goal. That's the main reason. That's the common denominator here. I'll throw you this, Phil. Then what do you think about Arc Raiders? What do you think about Arc Raiders? Because essentially Arc Raiders is the same loop over and over. Let's be real. Arc Raiders, the way you play it, it's the same loop. You drop in, you find loot, you try to get back and mine your resources, because you don't want to play PvP against anyone. You're not playing PvE. You're not doing anything. You're basically going in, finding resources, and then crafting. That's all you're fucking doing in this game, Phil. And you've been doing the same exact thing for how many playthroughs now? So, in theory, if what you're saying is true, shouldn't you also wage quit Arc Raiders? Again, you see where your arguments fall apart here, Phil, and they just make no sense. Just be honest. You quit quarantine because no one gave a shit. No one gave you any money. No one gave you any viewership. And again, we could do this exercise, Phil, with every single game you play, bro. We really can. You just need to buckle down, man, and just suck it up and just realize that your dents are not an ATM. They just don't have the money. When you literally have 5 people that support your playthroughs, right? And support your livelihood, you just need to accept the fact that sometimes you're just going to be tapped out and just not have the money. And again, it's funny when he's talking about Pokemon, because he was specifically talking about one person. He was talking about Princess Luna. Princess Luna has been on every Pokemon stream and dropping $20, right? Bill has played 64 hours, so let's say he's literally played Pokemon, let's say about 25 times, right? And this dent, Princess Luna has dropped $20 each time. We're talking about nearly $500. Princess Luna has dropped $500, just her, on supporting a stream. So that's what, Phil? 3 goals? 4 goals right there? Your daily goal? Or your stream goal? And for what? She did it for nothing, because you wage quit the game. She loved the game, but yet you quit it because you felt like, or you were upset that she wasn't in there to give you more than she give you the $20 that you demanded. Again, why would anyone support you, especially when you sit there and say, if I have enough people, interested, engaged, and support, you'll keep playing the game, and then the very moment you don't hit the goal, you just quit it. Fuck that. I would give you $0 and not support your playthrough with anything. Because damn, I'll be damned. And 20, it's just $20 down the drain. Princess Luna would have been better off taking the $20 and wiping her ass with it and throwing it in the trash can and disposing it. I mean, she probably would have been better off. She would have got more use out of those $20 or the almost $500 that she gave him. But he doesn't see that. He just sits there and just says, oh, well, who cares? He did the same thing with Truck Simulator when 220 and Buckwell were donating games, DLCs, money. And then one day he didn't have to go, and he banned that shit. He got tired of it, he wage quit it, and he moved on to the next game. And then they got pissed off. And he ended up banning Buckwell shortly after, and 220. God, man, it's just crazy. Anyway, he's going to talk about today and all this nonsense. Who cares? I don't really give a shit. I'm going to cut it short. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.